What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Pay, and today I'm back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how streamers have broken the rapper ego. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. Streamers in this modern era of social media are the new toys. Some people like to compare streamers to rappers and say the streamers are the new rappers in the way that they kind of transcend pop culture. And I kind of agree to a certain extent. You know, you look at somebody like Speed, you look at Kai Cenat, and these are two of the biggest and most popular people on the internet in general. But at the exact same time, they're still in that space where people don't fully respect streamers. They don't really get it. So they're in that space that rappers used to be in like 20 years ago where, yeah, they're famous, but they don't get that same respect that other celebrities do or other walks of fame do because people just don't really get it yet, or they just don't see it as a respectable way to gain celebrityhood. But despite that lack of respect that streamers typically get, they still have a massive impact on society, and especially online society more in particular, and especially when it comes to the younger audiences. Streamers have a massive influence over the young people online, and because of this massive influence that they have over younger people, they become a breeding ground for brands flocking to them to promote all types of different stuff, wanting to promote their product because they know that if I can get Kai Cenat to endorse my product, that means a lot. He has a lot of impact. If I can get Speed to endorse whatever I'm selling, that's great for me. That's going to work out really, really well for me. And so people are sprinting to these streamers to promote their brands because they have a lot of influence, and that's no different for rappers and their music. Over the last 3 to 4 years, we've seen a massive increase in these rappers collaborating with these big name streamers. Typically, it's around the time when that rapper is about to drop an album or maybe about to go on tour. But also at the same time, it does benefit the streamer as well because it gives a little bit of a sense of legitimacy to what they're doing as they have a real celebrity on their stream rather than themselves or other streamers. And it also gives them a boost in views. And this kind of content was kind of pioneered by Aiden Ross a couple of years ago, and he's the one that kind of first got this specific genre of rapper streamer collabs really popping. Of course, rappers had been on streams before, like when Ninja was going crazy with Drake and Travis Scott, but this specific type of rapper streamer content really got its start with Aiden Ross, and since then it's become a content juggernaut benefiting both parties. And this is why before a rapper gears up for a big release, they're going to reach out to these streamers. They're going to be on a stream. They're going to desperately try to get on Kai Cenat's stream, as he's kind of like the cash cow now of this genre of content. And that's why you see Nicki Minaj, one of the GOATs, one of the greatest rappers of all time and the greatest female rapper of all time, at least in my opinion, on Kai Cenat's stream. Or you see 21 Savage on stream with Aiden Ross. Yet the thing about rappers is that most of them have a really big ego, and honestly it is kind of understandable. Like, you go from absolutely nothing to being a top 1%er in the world, and now every time you meet someone, they're trying to kiss your butt or take a picture with you and trying to cater everything towards you. And you also kind of have to be a little bit delusional to think that like your art is so good that millions of people are gonna want to hear it and see you perform. So you kind of need to be a little bit delusional and to have a bit of an ego to be a successful rapper. But at the same time, rappers and their egos mixing with the media is typically a very flammable combination.
Glad it succeeded, man.
Hey man, you guys are nominated tonight. Have a good show.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
In terms of like members of society and their interactions with the media, rappers tend to be like the worst when it comes to interacting with the media. And honestly, even though now I'm kind of a member of the media, it's understandable. You know, media members can be really scummy. They can ask really stupid questions. They can be intentionally trying to put rappers in bad positions with their questions. So I get it, you know, but still, rappers and media don't always mix well and don't always have the best history. And most rappers would rather do their job without the media. They would rather live in a world where they don't have to go and do an interview to promote their album, or they don't have to do an interview to address controversies, and they don't have to hear the media's reviews on their albums. And
yeah, this 4 Bats EP, it's not good.
talking about how whatever they just put out wasn't the best. Like, most rappers would rather live in a world without that. And some of them actually act like they don't need the media, but they do. Rappers need the media, and they need them to promote their music. They need them to push their narratives. They need them to get messages out to the people, and they need the media in order to excite the fans to interact with whatever they're doing, whether that's a concert, a tour, a festival, a meet and greet, whatever that may be. So rappers do need the media, but over the last 15 years, we've seen a kind of evolution of rap media into what people call new media. And that's kind of been spearheaded by like DJ academics. And we've started to see traditional media lose a little bit of ground to independent new media, and to the point in which now they're kind of on the same level, where we have like No Jumper, Say Cheese TV, and of course academics. And now we've entered an era of new media, a new layer onto the new media, and that's streaming. And now rappers still don't like new media, but they do kind of favor streamers because they're not too focused on like hip hop journalism for the most part. Like, when it comes to doing these interviews, right? Would you rather do a tough interview with The Breakfast Club where they're going to ask you tough questions, they're going to put you in awkward positions? Sure, you're going to laugh and have fun, but they're there for business. Like, they're there to kind of break you down. Or would you rather do an interview with academics where, yeah, he's still going to ask some of the tough questions, but he's going to be a little bit more lenient, going to be a little bit more fun, ask some questions that aren't always super tough, and you pretty much reap the same rewards from the academics interview that you would get from the Breakfast Club interview, except the academics interview is much easier to do. And then you take that even further and you say, okay, would you rather do the academics interview where, you know, he's still going to ask you some tough questions, and maybe you're not too much of a media guy as a rapper, and you just hate interviews in general, no matter what they're on. You don't really like having the camera in your face and answering stupid questions. So would you rather do that, or go on Kai Cenat's stream and play video games and laugh and make jokes and, you know, prank each other and do a little sleepover stream and just have an overall fun time dancing and stuff? Would you rather do the academics interview or the Kai Cenat thing, while also probably reaping more benefits from the Kai Cenat stream? It's really not that hard of a decision to make for most rappers. Rappers aren't known for having a high level of respect for the media. Most of the time they see themselves as like above them, and that the media is just like these little scurrying rats trying to pick off their body to get their own career. And, you know, sometimes that is, you know, kind of fair. But you add on to that the streamers being the least respected of like the celebrities, and kind of seen as like this weird online group of nerds who somehow make money out of their mom's basement. And you ask rappers to now work with this member of the media who's one of the least respected groups of the media, at least traditionally. And it's a very interesting combination more times than not. But rappers need these little online nerd weirdos. Kai Cenat is the best promo that 99.9% of rappers can get right now. And I know a lot of rappers want to act cool like they don't need it and all that stuff, but most of them would die to get on a Kai Cenat stream because of what that can do for your career in 2024. Getting a cosign from Aiden Ross and having a fun W stream bro with him and getting all that love from his fans arguably does more for you right now than like an interview with the Breakfast Club. Like, they're arguably close. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's true. And even though I really do want to leave him out of the conversation, I kind of have to put him in there. Even getting on a stream with someone like Neon and having a moment where you're like kind of bullying Neon or whatever, and that goes viral, or maybe you stick up for him like, hey bro, that's my nerd friend, don't touch him, kind of like, you know, the cool kids would do in like the sitcoms in the early 2000s where they randomly stick up for the nerd. Even having that interaction could be so beneficial for a rapper. The typical behavior that a rapper takes up when they go onto a stream is like the big homie role, or like the older cousin who's hanging out with their kind of annoying younger cousin, where they just try to act like they're too cool and they're just like, you know, annoyed by the little streamer dude that they're hanging out with, but they like him, but like, you know, he the little homie, so they keep him around, I guess, because they want him to feel cool. That's the role that most rappers try to play when they go on stream. And sometimes it's in good fun, like when Nicki Minaj was on Kai Cenat's stream, and, you know, she was kind of teasing him and they were having fun, and she was kind of treating him like a little nephew. It was like an auntie nephew relationship where they were cool though. It was all in good fun. It wasn't wasn't anything really, really bad. But other times you end up with situations where it's Neon hanging out with New York drill rappers and they're trying to like bully him to make him dance and act like they're scaring him and all that stuff. Or, you know, it's Aiden Ross and rappers are trying to scare Aiden Ross and, you know, act like they gon' do something to him if he doesn't do this. And it's kind of that weird relationship where it's like their ego feels so threatened that they have to like be cool or like assert their dominance over the streamer, because them being on the stream and trying to, you know, get some interaction from this, you know, little skinny kid who's in his room getting hundreds of thousands of viewers, that's kind of weird. You know, it makes them feel a little uncomfortable that they need this motion from this internet guy. So it's kind of like a compensation thing where it's like, all right, maybe if I go on there and act really, really cool and like bully him, like maybe it won't feel as weird to me. Maybe it won't look as bad. And that's how you get stuff where like Krishan Rock and Aiden Ross, or not Krishan Rock and Aiden Ross, Krishan and Blueface went on Aiden Ross's stream a couple of years ago, and they were trying to act like they were just like too cool to be on stream, or like they didn't get it. Like, wow, 60,000 people are really in this chat. Like, they really watch this stuff. No way people actually watch this stuff. Like, basically just trying to act too cool and act like they didn't really need to be there and bullying Aiden like he was a nobody. But at the end of the day, they needed to be on that stream. They desperately needed to be on that stream, and they wanted that attention. So as much as they were too cool to be there, they weren't leaving anytime soon. They wanted that attention. Nothing is funnier than, but also at the same time harder to watch than a rapper who feels like their ego's kind of threatened by this like streamer kid who blew up playing video games in his parents' house, and, you know, looks like he might not have ever felt the touch of a woman before. There's nothing funnier than watching that kind of brain reset of like, okay, I know that I kind of need this kid more than he needs me, but I have to like overly compensate for that kind of hurting my ego. So I have to be a little bit rude or have to act like I'm just too cool and unbothered and don't really want to be here, even though I really do want to be here. Like, that's just hilarious to watch to me. Now, in the beginning, I will say the streamers did need the rappers probably equally as much. Like, in the beginning, Aiden Ross heavily benefited off of these rapper interactions. Like, that's how it really started going crazy. But once it got to the point where him and Kai Cenat were like at the top of the rap game, or not the rap game, of the streaming game, it definitely became the rappers needing them. So it was always funny to see rappers kind of overly compensate for that. Like when Trippie Redd is on Aiden's stream and he's like taking his cash and throwing it all in the air and kind of just overall being a little bit of a jerk. Or like when Neon has Ruby Rose on his stream and Ruby Rose is literally treating him like a Make-A-Wish kid and literally calls him a Make-A-Wish kid. That's not an exaggeration. The influence that a streamer like Kai Cenat has is the reason why when he gets sent Yeezy pants and they don't fit and he kind of makes a joke about it on stream, Kanye crashes out on him and is talking about how he's a bot and a plant in the industry sent him to, like, that's the reason why this happens. Or when he says that he doesn't like Glorilla's new song, she blocks him and it turns into this big drama thing. Rappers are typically supposed to be like the coolest members of society, right alongside like athletes. It's always athletes and rappers that are seen as the cool ones. So when these rappers enter these spaces where this online nerd, as most of them see the streamers, when they enter these spaces and realize that the streamer is the cool one, or they realize that the streamer has more motion than them in terms of like social currency in these spaces, it's weird for them. It's like a factory reset. Their brain like breaks. It just doesn't make sense. Now, that's not for me to say that all rappers have bad, experiences with streamers and every single stream ends up being horrible and they never really work well together. I'm not saying that. There have been countless streams that were really, really well and really, really successful in terms of like the interactions and the clips and everything went well for everyone involved. Like Aiden and Uzi, those were great streams where Uzi seemed to be really interacting with Aiden and actually messing with him. Or like Kai Cenat when he had Offset on his stream, like that was a fun stream. Everyone looked like they were having a good time. So it's not all rappers that can't really handle this kind of ego trip, but there's still no doubt that there's a level of uncomfortability that these rappers have with the streaming world. And sometimes to cope with this uncomfortability and this kind of shot that their ego has taken to fill the hole that was left there from the shot, sometimes they try to even get over on the streamer. And the two biggest examples of that are Playboi Carti and 21 Savage when that happened to Aiden Ross. Funny enough, it happened back to back. First, it was Playboi Carti who was supposed to do a stream with Aiden Ross, and he was supposed to get paid like $2 million to do the stream. Now, Carti shows up. He's on stream for like 6 minutes. He goes, 2024 music, and then leaves and takes the bag of cash that Aiden paid him. Now, it wasn't the full $2 million. He only got like a quarter of it or something like that. But still, he went on the stream and tried to get over on Aiden Ross. And then, of course, we have the situation where 21 Savage had the marked cards when he was gambling. He was playing cards with with Aiden Ross and was basically putting him in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt by cheating. Like, it's just, come on now, like, let's be real. He knew them cards were marked. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. So we had those situations back to back, and it's just funny because for even as rare and mysterious as Playboy Cardi is, he still went to go get some of that clout from Aiden Ross. Now, I'm not saying that Cardi needs Aiden Ross. Obviously, he doesn't need Aiden Ross, but for somebody who's as cool and mysterious as Playboy Cardi to still try to at least get on stream for just a little bit and get some of that streaming clout shows how valuable it is. Because Cardi doesn't do anything. He doesn't do any media. He hasn't done an interview in 6 years. He hasn't done a live interview in 6 years. So for him to jump out there on a live stream with Aiden Ross, it shows how much that really means. Even to somebody who wants to be mysterious and rare, they'll go on that stream. They'll go do that. And of course, the 21 Savage thing, I don't really need to break that down even further. He kind of saw Playboy Cardi hit a lick on Aiden Ross and was like, damn, let me go hit a lick on him next. Because none of these rappers really want to hang out with these streamers, like, honestly, including Kai Cenat, especially in the beginning. Now, obviously, Kai Cenat has like established himself now as like the top streamer, and most rappers think he's pretty cool now. But in the beginning, they didn't want to be around Kai Cenat either. He was kind of annoying. They just went on there and did it for the clout. But you think 4-1 wants to hang out with Neon? You think Aiden Ross would be able to call up Playboy Cardi? No, they don't want to do that. Obviously, they only do it because of the clout that's involved. Yet, as we move along further into the future and further away from the beginning of this iteration of media really becoming popular, we start to see some new things rising. We start to see rappers who are rising after the boom of the streamer rapper thing has kind of already happened. And these rappers are blowing up with the hopes of actually going on these streams. They want to do that. Or sometimes these rappers blow up and they idolize some of these streamers in the past when they were younger, and they actually like look up to them and wanted to kind of be like those streamers. Or sometimes rappers are even blowing up because of streamers now. You can look at somebody like Blackboy Max and what he's been able to do with his Song Wars things that he does on stream. And that has helped the careers of a lot of younger rappers, especially a rapper like Laserdimp. Laserdimp has gained so much from being on Max's streams to the point in which now Max has kind of started his own little label thing like 5 Star. And another streamer has started a kind of label of their own as well, that being Bruce Drop 'Em Off with Ball Hog. Now, I don't know if either of these labels are actually ever going to like become legal entities on paper and actually be signing artists and managing artists. I don't know if that ever happens, but you can kind of see how quickly the internet moves and technology moves and rap culture and streamer culture moves when it comes to evolving and adapting to what's new and what works. Now we're getting rappers who are desperate to get on these streams, but actually because they really want to interact with the streamer, because they think it's cool. Not just because, oh, well, there's clout there. Of course there's clout there, but it's also something that they really want to do nowadays. It's something that they want to be a part of. And for these smaller artists, these younger artists on the way up, that being involved with a streamer might be the best marketing that they could possibly ever get. Getting to engage with a massive streamer's audience who has a diehard fan base, who has 20 to 50,000 people tuning into them every single time they click the live button, that's better for them than trying to post under, academics comments, yo, I'm 16 years old and I'm a great rapper from North Carolina, come check me out, or paying for promo on Rap TV, or going and trying to, do whatever the hell that people try to do for promo. Getting with a streamer is the best thing that you could possibly do for these rappers, online at least in the beginning. The rapper ego has kind of been successfully broken by streamers in the streaming world, and they have to adapt to this new reality where they need the streamers. The streamers need them, but they really need the streamers. And, as much as I love rap and I love rappers, I would be lying if I didn't say I find it kind of amusing that some of these rappers end up having to kind of get humbled in a way, or be humbled by these online nerds that they really don't respect. It's kind of a nice experience to see them realize in real time, damn, this kid has motion. This kid has something that I really kind of want. So let me be a little bit more respectful, or let me try to interact in a way that's kind of friendly and may go viral. I think it's kind of interesting to see because, you know, you rarely get to see these types of things. Rappers, celebrities, anybody really with a huge head kind of get humbled by somebody that they really don't respect. But that's going to be the end of my video. If you made it to the end, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. I go by the name of Pay. Have a good day. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace.